Hello everyone, I'm Bruffy1322 and this video is going to show the fastest boats in terms of lap time. We're quickly going to go over the slowest vehicles right now, and as always the position counter is in the top left with the best lap time the boat achieved in the top right. This video only focuses on track performance, so if you're interested in top speed, where braking, cornering and acceleration aren't relevant, check the link in the description for the top speed testing series, and if you want to know more information about this testing, including the extent to which it's accurate and how useful it is for you personally, have a read of the full description as everything that you need is in there. This video lists all vehicles and is correct as of the after hours update. For boats added after that or other classes of cars, check the playlist linked in the second line of the description, and feel free to check out my Patreon or become a YouTube member if you want to get these testing results a few days before the videos go up every Thursday. So here we are with the 2018 Boats Edition video, and it's been a long time since we've had a specific boats class testing video, and it's the first time that we've had all 13 of these boats together in one single video. So while I've tested these previously, like the tug, it was in a random video, things like that, none of them I've never had a video where they've all been together in one single class like this. So every single vehicle in the boats class is together in this video, all 13 of them, and as we saw, the tug is the very slowest of them with a lap time of 6 minutes 37, which makes it the second slowest vehicle in the entire game. Obviously we've seen it from the industrial class video what the slowest is, but the tug is definitely in a good second. So obviously we had sort of the very slow vehicles at the start with the submersible and the Kraken and then the Marquee, and now we've started to improve the lap times that we've seen here with the Sun Trap in 9th place with a 2 minutes 4, and then we'll have the Police Predator in 8th place with a similar lap time as well, and then the Toro in 7th place, all around that 2 minute lap time. All pretty disappointing, to be honest, when you consider the kind of lap times we'll see towards the end of the video from the quickest. You would kind of expect that some of these boats would be a little bit quicker, especially the Toro, which is, you know, so expensive. Now something to mention is that the length of the track that I test these boats on is exactly the same as the length of the track for the regular car testing. So all of these lap times can be compared, at least in some way, to the lap times that we've seen for all the other different classes in the game. So for example, it takes the tug 6 minutes 37 to get around this track, which is exactly the same length that all of the other cars will get around as well. So they are somewhat comparable. Obviously there are slight differences. You know, waves are something that you don't get on regular tracks with cars. You know, the track that we use for cars and for bikes and things like that, it's not going to have random waves that you have to deal with, but in terms of length it is exactly the same. So this is the time it takes for these vehicles to get round the same length of track as what we see for cars. So the Sea Shark there was in 6th place. That is one that is significantly more affected by the waves than some of the other boats, and every boat is affected slightly differently by waves, so obviously it's something that you need to keep in mind. Just like with when it comes to cars, some cars perform better than other cars in terms of the tracks that they're on. Some cars are relatively better than others on hilly tracks or smooth tracks or city tracks. The same is true for boats. You know, the more waves that a track has, the worse a specific boat can be in comparison to others. But in general, when it comes to the boats class, there is a definite top 3, and obviously the vehicles that we've seen here, the Tropic and the Squallow, they do well to get into 5th and 4th places, but they are quite significantly far away in terms of lap time from the top 3. So the top 3 are also relatively close together in terms of performance, which is quite good. I mean, the boats class is in a way more balanced and more competitive than some of the regular classes that we have in the game. But in 3rd place we do have the dinghy with a 1 minute 34.6, so we're about 5 seconds per lap quicker than what we saw from 4th place, and that's where that gap to the top 3 comes in. 1 minute 30 kind of lap times isn't too bad, you know, for a boat. You're not expecting boats to be very quick, but the dinghy, just like the Sea Shark, is one that is more affected by the waves than other boats that we'll see, and certainly the top 2 as well. Basically, the bigger and heavier a boat is, the less it's going to be affected by waves, and the dinghy is, because it's so light, it does get affected by them. The smoother that a track will be in terms of the less waves that are on it, the better the dinghy will do in comparison to the others in the top 2. So in second place we've got the Jetmax with a 1 minute 33.0, only just over a second per lap quicker. And again, like I said, the difference in track is going to make a difference to that. So if the track is a little bit smoother in terms of waves, the dinghy will be much closer to what the Jetmax can do. But it's a good a good performance for the Jetmax to get into second place with a 1 minute 33.0. Cut through those waves pretty well, has a decent overall top speed as well, and just misses out on that first place because it's very, very close in terms of lap time. For first place we obviously have the speeder, and this only gets a lap time of 1 minute 32.761, so it's only 0.3 of a second quicker than what we saw from the Jetmax. At this point, feel free to subscribe if you haven't already for new testing videos every Thursday, and update videos when new cars are released, and check out other classes in the playlist. We will also, for the very first time, have the top speed testing for boats coming next Thursday, so keep an eye out for that. But yeah, the speeder and the Jetmax are very, very closely matched in terms of their performance, and both of them gain more from pulling back on the stick. As long as you get, as long as you hit some good waves with it, they'll gain more than what the dinghy will from doing that. So again, it's this whole aspect of the more waves you've got, the more sort of, I guess you could say, the more bounce. It's in a way very similar to curb boosting with cars. It's essentially a kind of an idea of wave boosting. Obviously pulling back on the stick, the left stick in boats, does make the boat quicker. It raises the front end, kind of like wheeling with bikes, but you get more of a benefit from doing that when you go over a significant wave, and you're able to get that front end of the boat even higher. So the dinghy, because it's more affected by the waves and it gains less from that technique, that's why it's sort of a little bit off the pace of the top two. But when it comes to boat races, you could really use any of the top three and you'll be able to do well. You'll be able to compete as long as you're using either the speeder, the Jetmax, or the dinghy, depending on which one you prefer. Obviously the dinghy can corner better as well, but the speeder and the Jetmax will cut through the waves a bit easier. It all depends on what you prefer. As long as you're using one of those top three, you're going to be okay. The only thing is that you've got some very expensive boats like the Toro, and that's why I've kind of put these together for the end, just to showcase the difference. The Toro is a very, very expensive boat, and it's so slow and so far off the pace. And then obviously we've got the novelty boats as well, like the Submersible, the Kraken. Those get some pretty significantly slow lap times, but you're not going to be using them in races anyway. And as always with these videos, and especially the later editions of these videos where we've been looking at non-raceable vehicles, it's more for a bit of entertainment and a bit of information to see relatively how quick these vehicles are in comparison to everything else that's in the game, rather than strictly speaking this is how this is what you want to be using in a race. It's just for a bit of fun. Now with that in mind, one of the most requested things that we've had lately, and it kind of follows on from the boats class, is helicopters and planes. Obviously people want to see the latest updates to the helicopters and planes classes, because we've had a lot of new helicopters and planes being made available, and we've never done the top speed for them before, and it was a long time since I previously tested helicopters and planes. Those videos are going to be coming, but there is going to be a little bit of a hiatus before those videos come, so we're going to have to wait just a little bit. You're going to have to be a little bit patient, because there's a lot of helicopters to test, a lot of planes to test, both for lap time and for top speed. It's a lot of work, so we're going to take a few weeks off from these testing videos, and then the next videos that you should see, hopefully before the year is out, will be the 2018 specific planes and helicopters videos, both for lap time and for top speed. But also we will be having the boats top speed testing, like I said, next week, next Thursday. For the very first time ever, we'll see boats in terms of top speed, and it's some interesting results in comparison to what we've seen for lap time as well, at least. So yeah, that's all to look forward to. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you can be a little bit more patient for me to get through this work for the testing for the planes and the helicopters. There's a lot to do, but it's getting closer, and then that will be it. All of the testing done for all the vehicles in the entire game will be complete, hopefully by the end of 2018. So that's pretty much it for this video. Remember to read the description for more info, comment with your thoughts, like the video if you enjoyed or found it helpful, subscribe for more, and consider supporting on Patreon or becoming a member on YouTube. Thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.